Hello there, my name's Ian Homer, business coach with Action Coach Business Coaching, and welcome to this introduction to business coaching and what it can mean for you and your business. Action Coach have been coaching business owners and managers for about the last 20 years now, and many ask, how can business coaching work for me and my business? Well, stay tuned and we'll cover some elements of coaching, how it got started, and how it's relevant today and what it means for you. So to explore what coaching is, we've got to go back about 100 years or so to the start of the 1900s, because sportsmen and women were the first people to really use coaching to elevate their performance to higher levels. In this very old photograph, the man in the shorts is Harold Abrahams, and the man in the hat next to him is Sam Mussabini. Now, Sam Mussabini was the coach for Harold Abrahams, and the story of these two gentlemen and one called Eric Liddell were made famous in the film Chariots of Fire. Now, one of my favourite scenes from that film was when Harold Abrahams in that photograph said to his coach, "I'm fast. I could be the fastest, but I can't do it on my own." And that's true for just about every aspect of human performance. On our own, we reach a natural threshold of our own capabilities. So if you roll the tape forward to today's professional sportsmen that are performing at top levels all have at least one, sometimes more than one, coach who is responsible for helping them keep their level of performance and progress to higher levels. Roger Federer, one of the greatest tennis players ever to play the game, was coached for many years by this man, Tony Roche. Michael Jordan was a very good basketball player until he met legendary coach Phil Jackson, and then he became the great Michael Jordan that we remember today. And then there's this man, Jack Nicklaus, the Golden Bear, who holds the record for the most major championship wins in golf. He was coached throughout his professional career by this man, Jack Grout. And I love that photograph with Jack as he's aligning the swing for Jack Nicklaus. Because in any field of human performance, you can't be yourself and see yourself at the same time. You require somebody else to make those observations and help you with the adjustments. Well, so much for sports coaching, and you might be thinking, well, thank you for that trip down memory lane, but what does it really mean for me and my business today? Well, first of all, take a look at this guy. This, of course, is the late Steve Jobs, co-founder of Apple. He was also their CEO for many years, and currently Apple is ranked as the world's most valuable company. And this man is Eric Schultz. Now, you may not recognize him quite so readily, but I bet you're familiar with his company's product. Now, both of these gentlemen are at the very highest level in their profession. However, they were both coached by this gentleman. His name is Bill Campbell, a great managerial and executive coach. And what that goes to show is, however successful you are in business, and the same goes for the likes of Bill Gates and Donald Trump and others like them, they are prepared to embrace the fact that they don't know all the answers themselves. These gentlemen and ladies like them are prepared to embrace what is right rather than being concerned with who is right. So, what does that all mean for you? If you're watching this video and you've been in business for a couple of years, my guess is that your business isn't fundamentally broke. You're not 1 foot from the grave or 1 step from disaster. You're not staring bankruptcy in the face. You're probably okay. You're probably surviving. The danger, however, is it's easy to get caught up in simple survival rather than progressing to a goal higher than where you are now. Maybe that you want to improve your profitability, revenues. Maybe you want to expand your team's skills so you can then expand the operations regionally or overseas. So you're probably okay, but there's probably more that you want to achieve in your business. So you're probably thinking, how does coaching work? How can coaching give me the results that I want? Well, the first thing to accept is you have two entities. One is your coach and one is you, the client, the player. The coach's role, first of all, is to help the client envision a future, envision a higher future, a better future than they currently experience. Then the coach's role, more than anything else, is to stand in that future, to stand in the future that the client says they want and draw the client or the player towards the future that they desire. That's the role of the coach. The role of the client or the player, above all else, is simply one thing. It's the willingness to change, the willingness to be coached. Now, take the British cycling team, for example. We've just had the 2012 Olympic Games in London. And I'm British and it was a great time for us. The British Olympic cycling team won 70% of the gold medals available in Olympic track cycling. It was a fantastic achievement. They were very well funded, but what they also did was look at all the aspects of riding a bike and seek out all the professionals in various fields that could help them. And this ranged from psychology, nutrition, energy consumption, and ergonomics. And they put all those things together, implemented them, and made small improvements in every aspect of cycling. And they were phenomenally successful. The thing was, they embraced what they didn't know and put that into riding a bike. And that's where the breakthroughs really are. Working together with your coach, you can achieve substantial breakthroughs. I'll introduce one gentleman that you probably will know, and his name's Albert Einstein. Einstein was one of the foremost researchers of the 20th century, and he did some work on the field of human knowledge, how much we understand and how much we don't. And he found out that about 15% of all knowledge we know that we know. For example, in my case, I know that I know how to speak English. I know that I know how to ride a bicycle. And I know that I know how to make toast. And that accounts for about 15% of all we know. 15% of knowledge is what we know that we don't know. In my case again, I know that I don't know anything about brain surgery. I know that I don't know how to fly an aeroplane. And I know that I don't know how to make a cheese souffle. And that accounts for about 15% of all knowledge. So what we know that we know and what we know that we don't know is about 30%. Fully 70% of our breakthroughs occur in the area of what we don't know we don't know. And this goes for all breakthroughs in history, from making the first aeroplane to landing on the moon, from performing the first heart transplant to designing the first smartphone. And this is where the breakthrough occurs that takes your business to a whole new level of performance. This is the area where coaching makes its biggest contribution. So what's your first step? If you think, well, maybe coaching could work for me, but what do I do? Well, the first step is to create some kind of a plan, some kind of a step-by-step guide to achieving your goal. So our first task with you as our client is to sit down and work out a plan. And the first part of that is, of course, where do we want to go and where are we now? What is the difference between our current performance and our goal? Let's say, for example, that you're turning over 50,000 a month now, but you think you could, if everything worked very well, turn over double that, 100,000 a month. At the moment, therefore, you're paying about 50,000 ringgit in ignorance tax, if you like. It's costing you 50,000 ringgit a month not to get these problems solved. So that's our first goal. Where are you now and where do you want to be? Phase 1. The next step is to understand what is working well for you. What do we need to continue to do? What do we need to do more of? Or perhaps, what do we need to enhance in some way? Then we take a look at what is not working. What do we have to modify or change? Or perhaps stop doing altogether? Next, we look at what's missing. And there may be several of these. For example, systems to get things done consistently. Marketing methods that are not being used. Measurements to give you better information so you can make better decisions. Even people that you don't have that you need to recruit. And then lastly and most importantly, what is next? What is our first next step? And this is important because any analysis like this must lead to a series of well-defined action steps. All great companies are able to execute and take action effectively. And once we've decided on the action steps, we have the basis of your plan. So with the plan, what do we then do as your coach? The secret to coaching really is rhythmical interaction. You and your coach get together on a regular weekly basis. We look at the plan, we look at what the next steps are for that week or two, and importantly, after that week or two has passed, your coach is going to show up and say, hey, how did that go? And did you get done what we agreed you were going to do when we met before? And through this process of regular interaction, we move progressively towards your goals and sustained higher performance. I hope that makes sense. So, let's have a little bit of a recap. Coaching has been around for years and years, and sportsmen have got the message that if they want to sustain high levels of performance and not just be okay, but be at the very top level, they need to work with coaches. Captains of industry, Steve Jobs, Donald Trump, and the like, also have employed coaches along the way. Our chairman and CEO at any one time has 3 people that keep him at the very forefront of his industry. And medium-sized and small businesses are also employing progressively the services of coaches to help them launch, execute, and obtain substantially higher levels of performance. So how about you? What's your next step? The numbers that you see, or the information that you see on the next slide, is how to get in touch with us. You can send me an email to ianhomer@actioncoach.com or call us in the office on 03 2283 2007 and book an appointment with us. Come for an informal, no obligation chat about you, your business, and what you want to achieve. So thank you for your company during this video, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. The very best of success.